Okay, so good morning, or well, it's morning for me anyway. Hi. Um, let's go a little bit further with this guy, with our freeform drawing, because it looks okay, but it just doesn't feel or look finished. And I think I came up with a couple of ideas. We'll just see what happens. First, I want you to take the skinny pen and want to go around either some of or all of these squares that we made with a skinny pen and just make an extra set of lines, because right now they're super tidy, but as I've said in many videos, I like the boo-boos, the quote-unquote boo-boos, and the feeling of extra lines. That's where our character is. That's where we tell people, we can show people our signature or our specific way of drawing. Plus it's wicked interesting. See, I'm just doing lines around the outside of the big box squares, outside of the big lines. And they feel like they fit in more with the feathers and everything. The lines can be tight. You can have several of them. You can just have, like here, I just drew one line. And over here I drew several. But let's kind of frame our boxes with little lines. This is just what I do. You don't have to. But I like the way it feels. It makes it more human. Okay, and I've done that around, I think, all the big ones. Let me get this one. I'm going to leave the little ones alone, I think. But then I want to jump inside our larger shapes, because we've got all this blank space. We've also got a blank space here and a couple of other places where I want to do some things. But we've got all this empty space, which is fine for coloring. But let's add a little layer to it, make the coloring even more interesting. And you know what? No, we're not going to do it with a skinny pen. Let's take our big fat Sharpie. And first I'm going to grab my pencil so you can see. And you can always draw this in pencil. Where there's big space, I'm just going to draw a freeform shape right in between. See that? I'm going to draw another freeform shape right here. See? I guess grab your pencil. That way you'll feel more confident. We want you to feel confident. Freeform space in here. See, I just drew two more. Here. I have a carpet in my bedroom, a little rug, and sometimes when I'm feeling stuck, I'll just go take a look at it or stare at it for a while and try and figure things out. And when I was looking at it this morning, I went, oh yeah, the freeform shapes. See? They're not any of the basic shapes that we've been doing, like the squares and circles and triangles. They're just big blobs of line, or big blobs of shape, or little blobs. I'm going to draw some in the head of our kind of abstract-y leaf. I'm drawing a tear. With the shapes in a yin-yang, the symbol for balance and harmony. Something we talked about a little bit in the last video. Okay, now I'm going to grab my big pen. Remember, you don't have to do big solid lines. You can make your pen skip around and do dots and dashes. This is going to get very, very busy. Dots and dashes. Not sure how this is going to work out, but we're experimenting. Again, this is how I paint, because you learn from experimenting. Dots and dashes, lines. Dots and dashes, lines. Pardon me. Okay, so I put in those really blobby abstract shapes in the center. I'm not sure if we want to do anything in the middle or not. I know I want to take these shapes. I was thinking about them because I was thinking we could add a little bit more dimension to them. Again, not sure how it's going to work out, but I don't worry about it. So let's take our skinny pen again and give it some shade. And that would just be lines. Just lines. And then maybe boop, boop, boop. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. See how I did that? So if this were in the real world, light would be blowing down that way, or light would be shining down that way, and we'd have a little bit of shade. Can't say it's perfect, but that's all right. Ooh, look what I just found in experimenting. I want you to see. I drew these lines, and then I did dots on the outside of the lines. So I just found something even more interesting I think I want to do. I'm going to go dot, 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 whoop, dash, dot, 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 dash. I don't know why. I'm not sure I really like it on the head of the little fiddle. Line, 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 line. Line, line, line. Dot, 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 dot. Dot. See? Kind of like a worm. Dot, 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 dash. Dot, 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 dash. Maybe dot, 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 dash. Always stop the video if you need more time. There it is. Dot, 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 dash. Oops. Well. So it's morning for me, and I woke up and decided to tackle this before I go to work. It'll put me maybe not in a better frame of mind while I'm at work, but it helps me to remember who I am. I'm an artist. Okay. I know what we want to do. I just figured it out. Inside these little blobs, all right, I finished up all my little kind of fiddlehead doodads with the dashes and dots and lines for right now. I know what I want to do inside the blobs, and it's just draw circles. We've done this before. We did this on our tar roof for Bugsy's house. It's just all kinds of little circles, filling them up like bubbles in all different shapes, all different sizes. Yep. Big, little, just kind of filling up that blank space. You want to make sure you don't have too much blank space in your drawings. It's good. It's actually good for a basic drawing, coloring project, but for a drawing, it could be very bland. Again, you don't have to do this. Because I could be wrong. Or not wrong, but in experimenting it could come out kind of muddled and awkward. But I don't worry about it, I just go ahead and do, and then find out later. Again, this is exactly how I paint, because we don't know until we put our pen down if it's going to work out or not. We don't know till we put our brush on the canvas. We can think about it for a while. We're not really going to know until we actually just do. Like a scientist with a pen. Just like when I'm painting, we take what we've learned, I take what I've learned by doing, and I apply it to the next painting. Whatever feels right, I take with me. Whatever feels wrong, I just make a, or doesn't feel finished and balanced, I make a note in my head, and I try to remember for next time. Okay. All right, I'm going to fill in those circles in the fiddleheads, the empty circles with lines. Any extra circles that we have, let's fill them in with lines. don't see any more. Okay. So I figured out what to do because it's on my little rug. We're going to make almost a tulipy shape, which will be kind of like a triangle but not, or kind of like a paw print but not. And there it is. It's 1, 2 lines, and just like in the leaves, curvy, curvy, rounded edge, curvy. Let's draw another one. We don't have a lot of blank spaces at all, but we've got to balance it out with a few more tulips. So curvy line, whoop, blob, blob. Let's do one over here, curvy line. Yeah, we haven't left a lot of blank spaces yet. Oh, we haven't left a lot of blank spaces, excuse me. This is very busy, but it's exciting. See how I keep turning it? So I can see it with fresh eyes and different, so I can see each corner of it with fresh eyes, pardon me. They don't have to be perfect tulips, like right here. This one looks more like a hand with 3 fingers on it. And that's okay. Curvy line. Oop. No, I don't want it running into the box. Now I'm going to outline them. See that? Yep. Not very much like a tulip, but a little like a tulip, like an abstract-y kind of tulip. I don't think we're going to do anything in the middle because we've got a lot going on here. Curvy line, bumpy line, bumpy line, bumpy line. Boink. Curvy line, bumpy line, boink, boink. Pardon me, my allergies. Curvy line, bumpy, 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 curvy line. And that was the space that was bothering me, having nothing there, but we have to carry it throughout for balance, harmony, and for flow. Okay. So it looks like I've got my tulipy shapes in there. And boy, does this have a lot going on. But I want to frame it. This is something I've been doing for a long time. And we'll just see how it goes. Why don't you wait until I've done this to see how it works for you? Sometimes I like to frame my pages. Oh, I know what else I wanted to do, but I'm going to try this. We'll see how it goes. This is how I like to do it. Doop, doop, doop. I'm framing the design. We'll see how it works out. Let me make sure you can see me. Doobie doobie doo. Oh, I forgot I could do dots and dashes. I don't have to do just a line. dashes. Line, dots, and dashes. And I'm just going to bring it down to a little squiggle. Okay? Actually, that feels a little better to me, but you do what you like. I also want to darken up the feathers a little bit at the top so we have more depth. So I'm just going to put in more lines. And that's the thing that made me think of it, because I had something sticky on my paper, and when I went to erase, it turned into a blob of sticky and eraser. But also, see how I'm bringing the feathers out, the individual feather bits that I'm drawing outside the lines, just a little bit. Outside of our solid lines. Pardon me. Perfect project for me before I go to work. Quiet time. Quiet time. I have to go in and have people talk at me. I'm sure you know how it feels. It's different when you're having a conversation with people and when they're just talking at you. But when you're at work, a lot of times people just talk at you. Like you're not a person. It makes me very sad. Conversation goes back and forth. Okay, we've only got 3 dark pieces in there. So I'm trying to think, maybe we should do something. Oh, I know what we can do. Because we've got to keep flow and balance. So we'll do dark bits on the stems. How's that? Lines. Sometimes people forget that we're all human beings and deserve dignity and respect and to be held in conversation instead of having conversation at one another. Kind of like what I'm doing now because I just talk at you. It makes me sad. It's also very frustrating. I want to draw, I think I'm going to go ahead and draw lines within the tulip so that it's not just an empty blob sitting there. Dot, 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 dash. I'll give it a little stem. I'm going to do the same thing over here, where this would be the chief petal that we're looking at. But I think over here, because I made that particular bump really large. Boink, 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 boink. Boink, 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 boink. Boink, 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 boink. Boink, boink, boink. I'll show you. See? Let's see. Boink, boink, boink. That's what I was boink, boink, boinking. I'm going to take this one. Something happened the other day, and I was told repeatedly, I was accused, we've all been there, I was accused of doing something I did not do. And we all know what it's like to be powerless. You have no power and no one will listen to you. And it was so upsetting that the next day I got in an argument with the person who accused me, and I still came out on the poop end of the stick, because there's no one who will listen to me, and no one who really cares. So we all know what that feels like, whether it's in school or at work. It's deeply unfair. Sometimes that's just the way it is. Sometimes it's all the time the way it is. Anyway, there we go. We did that. We've got a lot of blank space. We've got a lot going on in this thing. There was supposed to be a placemat, an easy coloring project, and I've made it into this. But we take what we've learned here and we use it in other drawings, and we don't worry about it. I think I'm going to do some lines coming down the feather, the stem of the feather. Look at those are coming out. I drew them outside the lines. Where are they? There. Right there. Just darkening up the quill end. You know what? There's a lot we could do. We could keep going. We could draw circles in between the dots and dashes, which is another thing I like to do. And I'm going to do it now. We all know what it's like to be accused of something and to have things taken away from us when we have done nothing and we have no one to listen to us. We all know what it's like, some people more than others. And it's really hard to live with. And after a while, you get so angry and frustrated, and you just want someone to hear you. And you just blow your cork. You're like a soda bottle that's been shaken up. You can't blow your cork all the time, though, because then no one will listen. I mean, it will have no effect. Of course, me blowing my cork the other day, getting really upset, I did feel like a soda bottle that had been shaken and shaken and shaken and shaken and shaken. And I was accused of lying, which I don't do. I don't lie. I was accused of a couple things. And unfortunately, the man who accused me was listened to, and I was not. because he's higher up than I am, like a teacher. Can't do anything about it. So nobody cares. Nobody's listening. So we sit here and we keep ourselves calm by drawing. Okay. So you see, I put bubbles. Look I put bubbles around the leaf. Where I went dots and dashes, in between I put bubbles. So they feel more cohesive. Everything does. So we could do a ton of things. We could actually draw circles all over the place, all in between. We could decide, God, we could do so many things and make this tighter and tighter and tighter. But I think we'll give this one a rest. She says, as she's drawing, we'll give this one a rest and learn from what we've done. Because this was very complicated. Pat yourself on the back. This was very complicated. No, it wasn't, but it looks more complicated than it was. It looks super complicated. But we did it. We did it. Ooh, there's a big blank space right there. Maybe I'll put in... Oh, Bugsy's licking his butt again. Maybe I'll put... Doop, doop. God, he licks his butt and he's so loud about it. It's gross. He says, I'm doing what a dog do. Oh, little ones in there. I could do this all day long. I love coming up with this, I love coming up with free flow design. And they seem complicated, and as you can see, they're not. It's just whoop, whoop. Basic shapes. The same shapes we've been doing. Ugh, that didn't come out well, but it's okay. The same shapes we've been doing over and over and over and over again. Using them. Using our line work. And then expanding on it like we did these blobby shapes in between. Look at this. See, I just can keep going. I love circles. I really do. Look at that. See? I can't stop. I can't stop. Because drawing and painting makes me feel like me. Not the person that sometimes I'm accused of being by people who just don't care that I'm a human being. And deserve dignity and respect, like everyone. It's hard to live with. And that's why we see these protests. People want to be treated decently. They want to be treated with dignity and respect. They're tired of being talked at. They're tired of being told who and what they are. Protesters are like the soda bottle inside my heart. But because they're acting as a group, they're being heard. Sometimes the individual, like me, is not. That's just the way it is. Look at that, I drew more circles. I drew more circles on the little shapes we had, the ones that were like seagulls, or the like seagulls or the sign for Aries. I just saw something else I could do. See, you can just keep going. You just have to let your imagination go free. Watch. Dot, dot, dot. Whoop. Dot, dot, dot. This is actually the point I like best. I said we were done and I was going to stop, and now I can't. This is actually the part of the drawing I like best. Filling in the blanks and finding even more balance in a complicated idea. See how I'm doing it? I took my skinny pen, because that's going to add different texture. The texture of the pen. We've got the fat pen, which adds one texture, and then the skinny pen, which adds another. So it doesn't feel so flat. So I'm doing dots and dashes within the fat lines, the fat Sharpie lines. See? And fill in with a circle there, my favorite. Circles and squares. They're both the perfect shape. Because life just goes round and round and round. But also because with squares, they tend to represent different things in different cultures. Usually the four elements: water, fire, air, soil. They can also represent wood, water. They can represent all kinds of things. But they're four things in balance. You could even apply four things in your life for balance. Let's say on the four sides of the square, if you wanted to apply it to your life. Art, for me, artwork. Artwork, you could say love, family, but I don't have a lot of family. So artwork, actually I have my son and his wife and my grandson, Max. So artwork, family, we could do love. We have to make sure that they're all equal to keep it balanced. Art supplies, food, fun, rest. So I could make that into the four elements, or we could make it into the four elements in our life. Ideas, rules. We could keep going. Let's see, ideas, rules. Ideas, rules. I wonder what else we could put for ideas and rules, because there are ideas in everything, like science, or ideas for in all kinds of things that are a progression, making things better, learning. Rules, everything has rules, has certain rules that you should follow, and then other times you don't have to, because they don't apply, they don't make things better. Alright, I'm yammering, but this is what I've done. I've put little line dots and dashes inside the leafy shapes, and quite honestly, I could keep going, but with the skinny pen, not the fat pen anymore. there's my circles. God, I love circles. God, I'm happy when I'm doing this. I hope you're happy when you're drawing. We're just making. The circles that I'm doing now are really pulling everything together. Look at that. You can put circles down, or you don't have to. But to me, this is going to make it feel more finished. So I'm just going to keep going. We'll see what happens. But with the skinny pen, so we're not overwhelmed with big fat lines. If all you have is a regular pen, like this, use it. Let me see. My regular pen doesn't want to write. Oh, there it goes. If all you've got is a regular pen, use it. That's not going to write on this paper. Okay, mine doesn't want to write. I'm not going to use it. But if all you've got is a ballpoint pen like that, use it. Gel pen, use it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We're just having a fun project and we're learning. We're teaching ourselves. Balance. Going with learning balance, but learning shapes, textures, darks, lights, all through free form, not by following a rule, not by following anyone else's pattern, really. Just listening to our own selves. Filling in with little circles, my favorite. Where everything is balanced in a circle. Everything is balanced in a circle. Everything is equal in a circle. And that's what we need in life. Equality. You see, I'm drawing them in different sizes. Just look and see where there's a blank space. Look and see, large and small. Does that need 2? Does that need 3 to feel not full, but in harmony? This feels so much better now to me. Like this, the line around the outside, it really helps to frame it. And watch, I want to show you something too, because I don't think I showed you. See how I did the corner? It's not just sharp lines, it's a squiggly. I love doing the squigglies in the corner. Okay, we're running out of time. I've talked enough. Blah, blah, blah. We got a pretty cool project now. I think. Look at this, I'm still going. Stop, stop. But my head won't let me. I just keep finding ways I can improve this and tighten it up. And I think that's from experience, too. It's hard when you don't have a lot of experience. But let yourself go and just do, because that's how you get experience, is by just trying, experimenting. Looking in that space and saying, And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't feel right, don't worry about it. Take it as a lesson and use it next time. Oh, bug. Drawing circles in my fiddleheads now. Fiddleheady, alien-looking things. There we go. All right, I'm gonna turn this off. I've talked way too much, but that's what we did. Now we can take, if you like, you can take some of the characters that we've drawn and put them in, just like that. Photocopy it. And you've got a multi-layer coloring project or placemat or whatever. All right? So there we are, and we'll start a new project in the next video. Thanks for your patience with this. Thanks for listening to me talk. That was very helpful. Sometimes having somebody just listen to you can make all the difference in the world. All right, I'm going to figure out what characters I like on this. All right, blah, blah, blah. Well, coffee. All right, that's the end of this video. We'll see you in the next one, and we'll do it on the fly one more time. Ciao.